How you been? How you been? It is, the 11 a.m. I tried to get my setup ready for once so I can just start painting and not be yammering for like 5-10 minutes. I'm so sorry. I do that all the time. But this is not the red I want. Maybe the darker reds, but there's, where did I put it? I thought I had it. Then it's like, guess what? Let's wreck stuff for you and make sure you don't find the red that you want. So if you hear shuffling, that's because I'm disorganized. Yeah, I know, right? Oh gosh, I'm not seeing it. That is not cute at all. I was using it literally like a day or two ago to paint Evil Ryu. What the hell? Dang it. Okay, I'll just try this anyway just to see what happens. So what am I painting? I am painting Princess Miyu from Vampire Princess Miyu, preferably from the OVA series, not the TV series. The TV series, I mean, they do have similarities of the stories and undertones, but it's a lot more cartoony looking. Like they have little sidekicks that have little quirkiness of the quirky commentary and foreshadowing and micro life lessons, I suppose. It really wasn't it for me. But the OVA series was, I like that one a lot more. Even though it might be kind of slow by today's standards of, because, now you have Van Helsing and, kind of. And then, there was also Vampire Hunter D. That one I also liked a lot. Which I did draw, by the way, if you saw the thumbnail. This guy here. Finally, well, I messed up the hat, but I can still fix it. This was surprisingly difficult, mainly because of his stupid hat, but the rest was okay. But yeah, him and Vampire Princess Miyu here were the two catalysts that got me started into getting into anime. This is not the red. It needs a bit more orange, but for me to get the orange, I have to use orange. This is not what I had in mind. Oh, here it is. It's buried. Emergency orange. This is the red I've been looking for. Oh, that's too much, but here we are. I mean, I can use it as a dark part, but nah. So how you been? Whoever shows up. As for me, I'm kind of tired. I'm always tired. You're going to say that a lot the older you get, I swear. My kid will go back to school soon. Well, I look forward to that. Obviously, I'm not super mean about it, like what you see in advertisements and parents that say such things. I think it's because I only have one kid, not like two. No, I don't know about two. I think two is fine, but like 3, 4, 5 kids and like, get out of here, it's not like that. It's just okay. Yeah, that's fine. But I have to get things ready for him to go to school and all that stuff. And there were like major changes that happened to the school. I will not bring that up, but it's kind of a interesting situation, but we'll see what happens this year. And in a bit, I do have some old comic books, and even a DVD that I will not show because I don't know how that works on here. I'm too old to figure that out right now. But yeah, I will have like a small micro, not haul, but like I was cleaning up off and on, and I found some stacks of old comic books that I used to read, and they're not organized. They're not like, oh, they are all like mint condition, never been opened. No, they've been opened. They are pre-owned or owned, and I bought them off like old comic book conventions before they moved to SoCal, Southern California. I hate it, but it is what it is. And so I'm like, I'm not going to go all the way there just for comic books. That's stupid. But some people will go down there, not just for comic books, but just, the experience, possible discounts on a whole bunch of things and this and that, and fandoms, all that good stuff. But I'm not that big of a fan, funny enough. I do dabble, but not enough for me to be hardcore fan. Maybe if they had Sanrio, but no, they even have, I remember Sanrio had some kind of like national tour. I don't know about global tour, but they did have a national US tour at one point, and I never joined any of those. But I heard of a few people that did, and I'm like, yeah, that's okay. Maybe if I had a kid that was super, super interested in Sanrio, I would be like, well, and it showed up here, I'm not like reaching out outside of the county, maybe I would join, but no. Other than that, I don't feel the need. Anyway, what I do like about Vampire Princess Miyu is it's a bit interesting. I think she is originally about 13, 14 years old when she became a vampire, and they do have a little bit of her backstory in the OVA, but it's kind of like a small snippet here and there. They show it, and yet at the same time, it's not as clear as we want it to be, especially towards the end, where the spiritualist, I forgot her, Himiko, the spiritualist Himiko, realizes something when she was little. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, there's some ties between her and Miyu. So I was like, oh, okay, I see. So anyway, yeah, I was quite interested when this first came out. And then where did I don't even think I have all of these, but I know I have 2, but I don't know the total volumes. I'm lazy. While I like comics and manga, I'm not that big of a hardcore fan, but I will pick it up if I remember. But one of the things I remember the mangaka, the author of the manga, admitted was like she does not like drawing backgrounds. And I'm like, I don't like backgrounds too, because they're difficult and I'm not very good at that. But that doesn't mean I won't try. It will take me so much longer to try. But yeah, I really enjoyed Vampire Princess Miyu. It's not like super action packed. I mean, there is action. It's pretty nice. It's pretty neat. And the monsters that they have introduced were quite interesting. And they're not always like, oh, a happy-go-lucky ending and everyone runs off into the sunset and is happy. It's kind of like bittersweet, and not everyone wins them all. And, and then Miyu kind of just like, well, I can only do so much. And then she leaves. That's kind of how it is. That's pretty funny. But at the same time, though, I was like, oh, okay, I'm only here for the quota. I'm not going to go any further than that because I'm stuck here in this other world where us vampires belong. And she is a vampire. But it also looks like she has moments where she wishes she was not a vampire. But at the same time, it's like, it's my duty. I got to do what I got to do. It's in my blood and all that stuff. This is why I would not be very good at explaining the context, the plot, the story of movies, TV shows, etc. I try to break it down into what I can understand, but sometimes how I say things, I sound kind of stupid. I know. I shouldn't talk down on myself, but I feel like that's how it sounds like. But I just do to the best of my ability. I'm not an essayist. I do not just, sometimes big words are good, but sometimes I feel like not everyone would understand. So I just want to talk more casually as if I'm talking to a friend. But yeah, I definitely would recommend watching Princess Miyu. But if you're expecting action-packed, a whole bunch of things, then you may not get that. But it's not like super slow either, so it's not too bad. And I also like her, what's his face? The guy who turned her into the zombie, into the vampire in the first place. Larva, he's such a weird character. And you don't even see his face in the OVA. I think you do initially, but then later on he has a face mask. Do I have a pic? Yeah, I just painted him. Where is he? This guy right here. Yeah, that's her guardian, or the guy that turned her into the vampire. Wait, how was it? Oh, well, you have to see the OVA or read the manga, what have you, to if you want to know more. I'm trying to not spoil it if and get you interested. Whether or not they have it online, I don't know. I haven't checked in a while. Or they only have like small snippets here and there. Why does this not seem like a bright red? This seems still kind of dull. I'm trying to not make it dull and I'm failing. Anyway, I didn't write notes today. I kind of woke up sleepy. So now all of this is just me ad-libbing here, impromptu. Now, what can I talk about? Good question. I will think about it as I paint and ramble on about things. So the comic books I have, it's not always Marvel, DC, although I do have significantly a lot more Marvel than DC. I don't think I have. I think if I saw Sam Man, I wouldn't mind trying that one. But just the art, I'm not really big on the stories. I hear it's a lot better and more developed than DC. Than Marvel. Sorry, I get them mixed up. I'm stupid. But at the same time, though, I'm not very invested at this point. I'm like, if it's a good story, I don't mind. But right now, I'm just like, Because sometimes when I look up testimonies of ever so faithful comic book readers, readers. They're very specific with what they can remember and why they stopped reading the comic books, especially since the 80s or even 90s. But I was like, and they're really visceral. They're very like blunt about why they refuse to read things after Claremont, things after Jim Lee or Mark Silvestri left. And I'm all, you can still read it afterwards. It's not that bad. But I think around House of M, I started losing interest. Or around when the movies were coming out, I started losing interest. The movies for X-Men and all that stuff. And then I also saw pictures of Wolverine like being like 6'7" or something. And I was like, who said this was okay? I thought he was 5'3". But because of Hugh Jackman portraying Wolverine, and he's clearly not 5'3", now I feel like some artists feel more inclined to adhere to that. I don't think that's canon, but they want to adhere to be consistent with the height. So they made him so tall, and he looks weird. He looks like a freaking refrigerator, like really, and it doesn't look appealing. I'm so used to him being small. And then so when I see him, this massive hulking tank waltzing around, I'm like, where's Wolverine? Where's the little guy? And I guess maybe they are influenced by social media where they don't think short guys can get to the girl, but he was getting girls left and right. Wasn't he married with that Japanese woman, Mariko or some other? Like, he got girls, and he was also, kind of chummy with Black Widow at one point. Some other women I don't remember, but yeah, I don't think, was he a player? I don't know, but he was quite old. But he got girls, and it didn't matter how short he was. And he wasn't a bad looking guy at all, just 5'3", and that's not a problem either. But I guess nowadays times have changed. Height is the end all of be all for men. I'm like, no, who said that? Well, I don't know. Maybe some people like to think things and they think they represent the majority, but shut up. Anyway, it was so weird seeing his height shifting to quite such a larger scale compared to his 5'3" original height. And I was like, what's wrong with his height? Anyway, let me see. Oh, there's a little bit of, okay, I can add a little bit touch-ups here and then try to add some white carefully. Ugh, I'm not good with careful. I like these kinds of paintings where there's not that much color and you'd only have to focus on like 2 or 3 colors at best, and that's it. I was like, oh, okay. I need to try that more often. And I think this is originally a watercolor look. So I try to sometimes emulate watercolor with acrylic paint. It can happen, but I think it depends on the paper surface and whether or not I'm good at this. And most times I don't think so, but there are those rare instances. Maybe it's okay. There is a reel, but it's not doing as well as my editor hoped it would. Because he thought because Naja is like a global hit, especially in China, he thought, this will get popular too. I only have about 80 to 90 views as I know right now. But sometimes you wait a few days, it may actually improve, but right now it's not looking like it. So I don't know. I'm just like, well, it is what it is. It's not a popular story outside of China. In the Western, I mean, outside in the Western area anyway. But I was like, yeah, sure, let's just see what happens. I'm usually like that. Just to try something new, see what happens. If it works out, that's great. If not, well, let's just do something else. That's usually our go-to method on trying to figure out the algorithm that will in my favor, more or less. Okay, any more white? Oh, gosh. What else can I talk about? Oh, trying to reach in my mind is a lot more difficult than I thought. Oh, right. I finished 100 cards for my second card deck. Yes, there are 2 card decks, and I just finished the second one. I also would like to do things with both of the decks at some point, but my space is not the best right now. I will see if I can do something with that, but it's probably not anytime soon. Once I find a space where I can record it properly, maybe I will try something from there. No definite plans right now. I'm just keeping an eye out on areas where I can record the 2 card decks. But right now I can do 1 card deck recording for an upcoming reel, even though I feel like not a lot of people care about my card art. Only my friends. But overall, it doesn't really garner attention. Maybe a few stragglers if I'm lucky with timing, but for the most part, not really. My more random stuff tends to be more popular, and even then, they don't even like it. They'll watch it, and then that's it. So I'm like, ugh. And then they always say, you have to do what everyone else is doing. And the thing with me is I don't like doing what everyone else is doing. So I keep doing the same thing. And I'm like, I'm not super active on trying to get people to watch my stuff at the same time. So that's why I keep doing what I do. I want to enjoy what I'm doing rather than appeasing to the masses because I don't like people that much. But I do know, like, once I finish it, it's just going to go in storage. So I figure I can show it off a bit and then just put it back in my storage. That's basically what I've been doing this whole freaking time, where I just show it off a bit and then put it back, show it off a bit and put it back. If I'm lucky later down the line, I may actually if someone is lucky, not me, I can give it to someone as a gift, or I have it as like, you got to pay for it. It really depends, but I don't always have official prices up because it's just, they're all basically like guinea pigs. And I also have to test how long they can last because I am not very sure how to deal with arts and crafts and even my art stuff to some degree long term, because sometimes the elements go against your art supplies, and sometimes discoloration, sun damage happens, moths happen. That's why I'm always worried, like, will this last? Will I still have good art by then? I don't know. Okay, so there is some here, not too bad. Oh, here. Oh no, I waited too long. That's fine. Okay, so that one is red. I'll let this dry off a bit. So now I got to work on the blue side. Hopefully this is correct. So I do notice in this current card deck, I'm really going back to my old stomping grounds of anime that I used to watch that not a lot of people pay attention to. It's always about the newest and bestest, and that Demon Slayer movie. There's parts. I thought the movie coming out would be that's it. They're like, no, there's at least 2 or 3 other movies afterwards. I'm like, what? I don't want to look for that. Like, I'll be in my 90s and then another Demon Slayer movie comes out. I mean, I'd be upset. Like, stretch it out, why don't you? But yeah, a lot of the stuff I'm going back to with my third card deck. Yes, I already started on the third card deck. I am seriously getting back into old things for sure that I really wanted to work on, because I've been putting them off for the longest time, thinking, what do I have to contribute? Nothing. But, oh, great, this is the correct blue. That is a relief. I was a little apprehensive, but this is correct. Now, with this kind of anime, this is VHS. I had my oldest brother and third older sister rent out. Well, they did it out of their own volition. I didn't even know these movies existed, but they like art too. So they saw these in the movie rental places and like, oh, let's go watch this. I think one of the first ones I watched was Vampire Princess Miyu and Vampire Hunter D. But I think I remembered some of my siblings being disappointed with the outcome, what they saw when they watched Vampire Hunter D, because it's the work of Yoshitaka Amano, and his art is very distinct and looks very, it looks a lot westernized and a different standard from the typical anime. I think that was what drew my siblings to get that movie in the first place. But when they saw how it actually looks like, I'm pretty sure they didn't like it very much. And I think I was a little disappointed myself, because I thought, oh, that's what it's going to look like in the anime when you watch it. No, it's not. It's still kind of anime-ish, but I think also the animation department did not really capture its essence or whatever, or it didn't translate well into animation, or I think, and it was a little bit rough, but overall, it's still, you can still tell Amano's work in animation, but it did not look as good. I think maybe what was it called? Angel's Egg or some other. I think that one captured his work a lot more than Vampire Hunter D. But is it called Angel's Egg? There's like a tiny little white girl. I mean, she's literally like paper white, and she's always holding a giant egg. And I did watch it. It was very surreal and a little bit, it kind of went over my head. I'm sorry. But it wasn't bad. It was just interesting to see, like, oh, what's the big whoop? Okay. And then other stuff I used to watch. Some of them were very inappropriate, and they were definitely for male audiences, very much so. I will probably still draw them because I did grow up with them, but I'm kind of not sure right now, because at the time I thought they were so cool. But if you actually sit down and watch some of these, I'm like, dang, you watched that? Oh, you perv. That's how it feels like when I think back on those kinds of things. But I didn't know. Okay, they don't say, I mean, I think they might say, oh, contains some nudity. And I was like, how much? And then oh, okay. And I was like 10, 12 years old watching this stuff. So I was a little bit like, am I supposed to be watching this? And the answer was no. But even still, the story was interesting. It wasn't something I definitely would see in the US. They would definitely not show all of that mess. But at the same time, though, at least there was something different going on. And it seriously, I don't want to say rocked my childhood like crazy, but it definitely left a huge impact in my life, enough to want to keep watching it up to right now. Even when I am bored and I'm like, oh, I haven't watched Gal Force in a while. I haven't watched Project A.K.O. in a while. Oh, Casher. No, oh, I haven't seen Casher in years. Let's see how that turned out. Casher is kind of weird. I didn't get it. But for the most part, I would still try to watch it. Or Rojin Z, that one was pretty interesting too. So there was like a whole, there's a whole bunch of animes from my childhood I would for sure watch. I did start a little bit with like Project Echo, Akira. I did a handful of Akira anime fan art. And I did start a little bit on Vampire Hunter D in the first card deck, but and also Ixer 1. And then I also saw like one of the first drafts of Ixer 1. They also have comic book. I didn't even know that, but I don't know. Oh shoot, where did I put that card? Oh no. Like the very first draft of Ixer 1 was this girl. She looks hella weird. I was like, what the heck is that? But you can tell like the similarity with the hairstyle, the ears, being a cyborg of some kind, or android. I'm sorry, an android. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's kind of weird. But yeah, I was like, I like seeing old, like the behind the scenes before they became the official released character, like the confirmed character design. They had to go through a backlog of other ideas. In that aspect, I don't mind looking at Disney drawings. Those are kind of interesting. I was looking at ones of Ursula the Sea Witch. She had to undergo a whole bunch of changes before settling on what we know today as Ursula. I was like, oh, okay. So she was skinny at one point. She even looked like one of those sea monkeys that you see in those packets. I was like, what? And then they settled on that giant octopus lady. And which is funny because I also have comic books about mermaids, but they were elves from I think the lore of the World of Two Moons with ElfQuest. They're called Wave Dancers. And yeah, I love the art. Their art's crazy, incredible. But again, this is the kind of content where some of it I should not have been watching with a kid. All these cool things that I was not supposed to be looking at, I was looking at them. And so I was like, okay. But their art's really pretty. I think they even had a continuation series with Tila Weed and Hyphus, the two mermaid elves in the story, but I never really, I was my oldest brother who was keeping track of the elf comic books, but then later on, I think he just fell off and didn't bother keeping track. But I think I looked maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. I'm like, oh, they had a continuation series with those mermaids because they look like the type that are main characters, but you barely see them except, what's his face? This guy. He's supposed to be the leader of this freaking mermaid elf group, but you barely ever see him. I mean, he'll say, I am a leader. I am saying leader words, and then he just goes to the back somewhere. And then the other one, she doesn't even talk. I'm not sure. I think she might have had a child, but she lost it or something. And so she's grieving deeply to the point where she doesn't even talk. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, But yeah, I had some weird comic books growing up. Also Marvel comic books. I think why my oldest brother got into them because there were also Asians and Asian Americans in Marvel comics, whereas I don't know if we even have any in DC. But I think he was more drawn towards the whole idea of, oh, Asians can be superheroes too. And there were some that were villains. But the other thing was sometimes the stereotypes will still permeate into the comic books, and some ignorance, lack of knowledge. I remember some comic issues of X-Men where I think they would go to like Madripoor or whatever, or some exotic Asian-y land, but the characters of the land is like weird chicken scratches that's supposed to represent some sort of Asian language. And I was like, what the hell is that? Who wrote that there? And so it also signifies that there was still a lack of knowledge about Asian cultures and Asian languages. Like they just made up some random stuff out there and like, oh, something is being said and I don't know what that is. But I think that was one of the reasons why my oldest brother got into comic books. I never really asked him directly, like, what got you into comic books? But I think one of the appeals was there were Asian characters as well. We don't see a lot of Asian characters in our own stories, in TV, movies, unless they're stereotypes or they're side characters or they're really, really ugly stereotypes, background fodder. What else? I'm trying to think. The token friend side character who has a sense of humor, or they're seen as the comedy, they're seen as the joke, and some of them are played by non-Asians. And there's a whole Asian history class based on that kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's stupid. But then, like, what do? I don't know anybody. Like, what can I do to contribute? I don't know. Sorry, my throat gets sore after a while. How can this be darker? I don't know. I guess I could throw in some black, but I don't want to make it too dark. Let's see other comic books. Oh, right. I'll show it in a bit later, but like they have ads. I don't know if any of you read the comic books back in the day or even up to now, like how many of you actually look at the ads of the comic books? I didn't look at them growing up. I mean, like, oh, there's an ad and I just want to get onto the story, and I would never look at the ads. But like I mentioned, as I was cleaning and looking through comic books, and then I see the advertisements on the pages, I was like, oh my God. Like they have ads for MTV shows, like cartoons, like The Max, or they still have comic book ads of other comic books titles. God, why am I coughing? It's annoying. And then I'm trying to think what else. Old TV shows. Like I remember them vaguely, but I never actively watched them. Yeah, I'll show them in a bit. Maybe after I take a break from Miyu. And I can also show the card art that I have so far. Oh my God, this white paint is so annoying. I'm trying to make this look like watercolor. Not as easy as I thought it would be. Because now it just looks chunky. Chunky chunks. And I put too much black, of course I did. Yeah, the ads that I saw, they had like ads for toys, and then if you want the toy or item that they are advertising, you have to send in a cutout of their form, and then you write in your name, address, all that stuff, and then you give in a money order, check or money order. I was like, oh my God, I remember that crap. I don't remember if I tried doing that. I know one thing similar in school was a book order with Scholastic and Troll books. Oh my God, does anyone remember that? And Weekly Reader. Oh my God, I remember that crap. I don't sound old until I make references back to my childhood. And I was like, what the hell is that? When was that done? I was like, in the 90s. But it was interesting to see all that stuff again. And then I was like, oh my God, I remember all that crap after all. I thought I'd forgotten. No, I did not. Oh no, now the black's messing up the blue paint. So I'm going to let this dry a bit so I can paint on top of that. Please don't look like a wiener. I'll be upset. Okay, I'll give this a break. And yes, I use a rock to help me sometimes. Okay, since there's no... Oh, there's someone. Hi. Let me see what comic books I can share. It's already 35 minutes, and I'm just letting my stuff dry. Yeah, I'm only going to do one card because... So I have Wave Dancers, and I also make sure I don't put paint on my stuff, even though... Oh, well, I don't... I have the entire series of this completed, so this is like a dupe, technically. Then I have Vampire Princess Miyu. And then I have Elektra. The art's crazy good here, but I feel like not a lot of people like this artist's work, but I love it. I don't give a shit. I think this is my brother's, but I kept it. He doesn't watch my stuff, so he should be fine. But yeah, I like their art too. They look realistic, and they look like hand-painted and stuff. Like, what the heck is that? It's called Someplace Strange. It's so weird. Like, what the heck? Sorry, I'm going to have to do my paints and not put extra on it. I love buildings in Minecraft. I know you do. So yeah, like, my God, look at this. I know we have quality art at some point up to now, I've seen stuff, they're really good, but just something about this stuff back in the day. Like, what the heck? That's freaking amazing. Initially, I thought she was cool, but she was a bit too much. But yeah, like, this is such cool. I kind of wish they did something better with this cover, but it's something. And this, I got this. Yeah, there's no organization. This is totally random. New Mutants. This one was actually pretty good. But I do like the pink one where they introduced Psylocke into the... I'm not sure if that was her very introduction, but for sure she was more prominent starting from there in that series of New Mutants. And then I got the very first introduction to the Max. I'll show that in a bit more. And then Weapon Zero. Weapon Zero is interesting because I really do like the whole idea of like alien body armor, but they really accentuate certain features, especially on the women and on a teenage girl, mind you. She's a teenage girl, and they really let things hang out, and she's supposed to be a very conservative, very proper princess, and yet if you see what she wore, what I liked about her, she turns into a giant monster called a Leviathan, just tiny little 10, 12-year-old girl, and her design was pretty cool, but she's a bit, she's like, I don't want to fight people. I'm like, oh, come on. I'll check this one out. I haven't seen this one in a bit. I looked at it and then I stopped. How do I, what? Oh, fun fact. I used to do art on these, but not all the time. Only one worked out good. And I think the other one I gave to a friend. So yeah, like, what's she doing, girl? I'm not going to read it all, but I'm like, oh, there we go. Go, go, go. Oh. Oh, I think this is like an introduction to like different stories. So they mentioned the Max with Sam Keith, and then Rob Liefeld, I don't know. And then Brandon Choi and Jim Lee. And that was it. Oh, I have this image already. That's the one I painted and put in my card deck. Okay. All right. I didn't have to go on Pinterest after all. I didn't know. Stupid. So that was Sam Keith's work. And then this one is Blood Wolf. Oh, I think he has a very distinctive look where he doesn't draw feet very well. Rob Liefeld? I don't know. Oh, that's lovely. Get that guy. But some of the costume choices I find kind of questionable. Oh, sorry. See, this is why I don't like going through comic books and stuff. Oh, and I think this is the one. Wait. Oh, never mind. I thought, what? Is this the one with Brandon Choi? Oh, no. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, this is the one with Jim Lee in it. What? That's it? What the heck was that? And they didn't have too many ads on this one. But I only got it just for the Max parts. And I didn't even know Julie Winters had an accent. But I guess it took place in New York. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to take place in New York. And then, what number is, number 2. I have to make sure this is I also have this one. He looks like someone I know. Anyway, I will not say who. I have to make sure, let me just double check there's nothing super inappropriate. I don't think there is, but sometimes I can't help but forget. I did say this is not for kids. Oh, there's some drug use. The ugly man. I rarely hear people use the word ugly anymore. Is it that bad of a word anymore? I mean, no one wants to be called ugly, but at the same time, words exist for a reason. Oh, okay, so she's in the jungle and she eats snake or something. I don't know. And I think she's referring to her past or something. I don't know. But yeah, I like this art. It's so cool. I think originally I have my third older sister has the entire Elektra series. I'll try to get one myself because the story itself, even though it's a little bit confusing at first, I was like, oh, okay, it's actually a pretty good story. And they do involve politicians. It's kind of like, oh my God. Like, see, that's so cool. I'm going to do a painting like this. This looks so much fun. But sometimes they don't even show anything. They just show a bunch of words. But I think like there's no room. Where are you going to put the words? So they just it all. But that's not necessarily a bad thing if it just helps get the story going, you know? Oh gosh. Yeah, there is that. Why won't you go in? Darn it. Yeah, I will not show all of them. Then Vampire Princess Miyu. I actually painted this. I didn't say, I don't mean I painted this here. I mean, I just did it as a fan art in practice. It's a lot harder than it looks, surprisingly. I might try to do my own version, hopefully somewhere in the future. But I will tweak some things here and there just to see how it goes. So yeah. I'm pretty sure this was made in the 80s. And I do notice the lack of background, which I like because I don't like drawing backgrounds. I get it. I totally get it. But this one doesn't adhere to the OVA. I mean, the OVA does not adhere all the time to the manga because there's all these other characters. Like, who's that? I don't know who that is. But there's certain elements that they pick up, like they have a picture of her, or she's not really this age. And I was like, she wasn't this. She was with my mom, and that was like 20 years ago. I was like, what? Something like that. I thought that was interesting. And then, or she sees an attractive boy, and oh, that's a nice target, but turns out he likes someone else because he's already bewitched by another demon. I was like, okay. And these two girls fight over this guy. So while it seems like, oh, it's a battle between two evil demons, between good and evil, it also seems like a high school bicker between two girls over a boy. So it's a little funny if you think about it even further than that. But I do like the art. Oh yeah, you see Larva without his mask. I kind of like him with the mask on. I mean, he's not bad looking, but you know, I just thought his mask is so weird and cool looking. And then Wave Dancers, I got to make sure I think there's some inappropriate pages in here. So yeah, we have these two. I think his name is Barmek and Slaya. I don't know. And then she's from ElfQuest as the bird people. I forgot. She's almost considered a high one, but she's not as old. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. She was brought into, so this is canon to the ElfQuest story. Like they have water elves, and yeah, they eventually meet up eventually, but not this group. I think it's a future group later. They have another series, maybe in the future tense, and then the Wolf Riders eventually meet up with the Wave Dancers, and one of them recognizes the other, and recognitions when it's not necessarily fall in love, because they would recognize like, oh, I don't even like you. What the hell? I don't want to be with that person. But then turns out like, oh, we can't fight it. Let's just do it anyway. And so, so it's kind of interesting how they, it's not necessarily love, but it's like, oh, it's time to have a child. And so they just do it. And then they end up sometimes not even being with that person, but which is rare. Like they want to be with their other person, their like their original partner, and then they go off with this person they recognize to have a child, and then they go back to their original partner. It's complicated. Now I was reading this when I was little, like, what? They don't just get married and stuff, you know? So yeah, I actually really like the art here, even though it's a bit too adult at the time. Well, now I'm adult, but it's still a bit much for me. But yeah, if you want me to look at more, feel free to let me know in the comments. That would be great. And then Bullet Train. My card art progress while I'm here. And before, oh wait. And I found this. I have it already on my computer, but I missed this. It's a good series. But after the comic book series, like the first series is good, and then afterwards it kind of it seems kind of messed up afterwards. But anyway, I have Evil Ryu, and I worry this looks like a sunflower. It wasn't supposed to look like that. Like some parts were yellow and some parts not, but eventually it turns yellow. But I just worry it looks like a sunflower. Like he's so hyped up about his sunflower. Oh, but other than that, if you don't pay attention to that part, everything else I think looks great. I thought it was cool. They also expand more where he has like pink energy coming out of his hands. I was gonna do that, but I was like, nah, let's just leave that alone. It just seems a bit more clashing with the red. And then, of course, I brought larva back. And then I have Eon Flux. It's practically done. I'm not going to do too much with the background. Maybe a little bit coloring here and there, but not too much. But it's the hair. I need to add some kind of highlights to the hair. But it's otherwise almost done. Kind of. Okay. And then I have Claire from Claymore. I read the manga. She's all right. But, yeah, she's all right. I wish they kind of focused on her a little bit more, but she does go missing for a while. But yeah, that was a pretty cool story. And then I have D from Vampire Hunter D. I think this is the Bloodlust version, not the one from the 80s. But they did improve on the art really well on there. So I was like, let's just draw that and see how it goes. It turned out pretty damn nice. So stay tuned for these on Instagram for sure. And then these here are ones I'm also still working on, but they're not as good looking, or not yet anyway. So I think her name is Miyuki from Dagger of Kamui or Blade of Kamui. They have several names. I don't know anymore. But those are the only two I know of. And hopefully this will turn out right. I'm not sure because I haven't added the flower petals, like for Power of Illusion or some other. But so far, so good. I might tweak her design a little bit later if I feel like it. Big fat if. Then I have this random dog I saw on Instagram. And just like the googly eyes. I still have to, I think I will put line art to it after all, but I'll try to make thinner lines this time. The thicker lines kind of seems a bit much. This one is based off a towel I saw in Hawaii. And I want one. And then I keep forgetting to buy it. So this is my compensation for that. But instead of the original characters, I put lesser known characters, except this one. I like Pachaco's design. I'm still not done with it. And I even have my own little character there. Yay. And then we have one of the first drafts of Ixer 1. And she is weird, but hey, man, let's appreciate old drafts of characters. Excuse me. And then also, before I forget, I have 100 cards in this second deck. I do have a first deck. I think I've shown it as a shorts on here as well. You're going to have to dig through it. I don't want to... Should I re-upload? I kind of don't want to be like that person, but it's kind of buried in my collection of shorts and videos, so I might do a... No, I'm going to do another one eventually. So yeah, these are my cards. This is all complete. This is 100 cards. Okay, I counted. And so yeah, I did draw Winnowill. That's the name of that bad guy, Winnowill. And you can make them as a puzzle. And if you add more cards to your puzzle, you can make larger images. But I don't have the need to do that because most of these I wanted to do for just to see how it goes. And I think the largest card count I did with this was maybe 4 cards for the Joker. And then that was it. Oh, that guy. That was funny. And then, oh, this one is Vegeta. I like this Vegeta more. Yeah, that was kind of cool. I like this one. Maybe I should do this one as a painting instead. I did make a Vegeta painting, but I like it and then I kind of don't like it at the same time. But I like this one a lot better, so I might just do that. And then I have Patrick. Oh my god, he looks questionable. And I won't do all of them. Okay, and then oh, I have that guy. He cracks me up. I might draw more of him too. And then I actually like Frieza. They made quite the interesting character. Like he just refuses to die. But I don't want to draw the ones after he comes back when he becomes a cyborg or whatever. I do like how this one turned out. So yeah, I eventually got a bit tired of doing the card puzzles, but these are pretty fun to make. And you can do whatever the heck you want with them. Like, see, I totally had a nostalgia trip with this one. I used to do these weird, trippy little designs in high school. I have no idea. I mean, I think they were more like tribals back then, but now I just do little squiggly lines, but they're just okay right now. Nothing special, but I used to just do that growing up. Okay, and then I have this one. I think this was based off a Kirby fan art, but I thought it was kind of cute. And then Fushigi Yugi with Yui Hongo. Like these. Oh, I like her story arc a lot better. It's kind of sad, but it was a lot more interesting than the Fushigi Yugi that first came out with Miyaka Yugi. Ugh. Anyway, I could geek out on that. And we have like the Mad Hatter with Zashiki Buddha. Yuna. Oh, I missed this one. I should draw Yuri. I forgot. And then, oh, Random Ice Cream. This one was actually kind of cute. The Naked Cat. I think they're so weird looking, but I like the ones that are chubby. I think I added too much wrinkles on this one. Then oh, my Sharpay. Oh, I miss her. She's so cute. And then oh yeah, see that's the original the final Ixer one. And then you see how that's kind of weird. I kind of want to draw them side by side, see how they go. That's kind of interesting. I think the only thing that did not change was her hairstyle, big ears in general, and eye color. I think that's it. Interesting. And then an old-timey, I think it was a Filipino guy from like maybe, I'm not sure, between 1920 and 1940, one of those two. I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. And I like how it looks like an actual old picture. I thought that was kind of cool. And then, the art from Solid Snake. Oh, I love their art too. That was a lot of fun. And then this guy, oh my God, he's too much. Yep, I have Project Echo right here. Not the best, but it's still very nostalgic. And random fan service. I used to do fan service drawings. Oh, this one's so cute. I like this one. Yeah, some of these I actually forgot I did because it's been a while. Oh, that's the alter ego for that medicine man in Mononoke. And little Goku. Aw. I didn't really care too much, but I think I did that when the creator passed away, unfortunately. There's an alien guy or person, I don't know. And then, oh, I like this one too. This one turned out pretty cool. So I actually like the second deck a little, not about a little bit more, but I do like this one as well. Because there are some things I would never see myself drawing out of my own volition. So this one's kind of creepy. I like this one. Aw, side duck, the special kind. And then, I like this one a lot. Well, I think I'm very partial to it because I'm a mom, and I made him, Inosuke smile a little bit. Originally, he just looked kind of like, whoa, what's going on? Well, I'm a baby. What's going on? But this time, I just added a tiny little laugh, and I thought that was really cute. Oh my gosh. His backstory is ridiculously sad. Like, oh my God. And then, I almost forgot I did this one. I kind of don't like how it turned out, but I like the effect I did. And then, oh my gosh, I like this one. And I added Zashiki Buddha, and I think that was already there, but I added Zashiki Buddha. Hey, Talim, that one's pretty cool. Hey, it's Kamui, I think. That's his name? I forgot that's his name. But yeah, I want to do another one. This one, he seems kind of sleepy. And then, Trunks, yo. Funny. Okay, before this one. Oh, I think this was based off AI, but they messed things up. Like, they gave him an extra finger, and he looked a little weird. Like, he had smoke coming out somewhere, but I changed it to his nose. But this was pretty good to try. It's a slight upgrade to what I have in the first card deck, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I want to draw him too. He's fun. He's not supposed to be green, but I tried to add some element of green. But I don't know why I added pink. It doesn't seem to look good, but at the same time it does. It's confusing, but I still like it a lot. I like the details. And then I forgot her name, but she's in Odd Girl Out, I think. But she's pretty funny, actually. And then Sungmina. Okay. And then this girl, I forgot her name, but she's Princess Jellyfish. I think that one was really cute, actually. And but she's kind of annoying. Anyway, there's Wolverine. I think it was someone else's art, but I wanted to have it as a card. This is based off one of my clay characters, but then I never made it as an actual drawing, so I did, and I actually like this version better. It's kind of cute. Little potato. And then, okay, so this is the rare times I try not to include too much line art. It turned out pretty cute, and I like the little shell and other, like, I'm looking and he's being a butt. And I think this is like a continuation of actually, that would make sense. Oh, hey. That was not my intent, but it makes a lot of sense this way. I didn't think that far, but hey, we have. That one's actually pretty neat. Anyone know this bird? He's pretty popular. Wait. And then The Sound of Your Heart. This is a pretty funny ass series. I can't keep reading it all the time. It's just too much funny for my stuff. But at the same time, every so often when I come back to it, it's still fucking funny. Oh, this guy. Yeah, I have some webtoons on here. Oh, that's some random scary thing. I do like how this turned out, though. And this creepy lady that was in Lookism. Yeah, the main characters, one of the main characters' stalkers, I think. Oof. And then, there's Stitch. I like this color scheme. And I also did a color scheme for this, but I don't think a lot of people like it for obvious reasons. This one's, I love this old lady and I love this cat. This is probably the worst card I have in this bunch because I tried to do my own version of Big Challenges, a random alligator character from Sanrio. And this looks super bleh. I'm not feeling it. I don't know if I should paint over it and do another version, but I don't know yet. Because I just finished it. That's why I'm like, I don't want to make more work for myself. And then I think this is from Squishables, but I made like a little chubby version of it. And then we have this. Oh my God, that's actually really cute. I should follow up on that later. See, what I like about these cards is I forgot what I did, but then if I go back and actually like the idea painted, I will most likely try to remember it a lot better with visual aids like these and eventually make a larger painting or craft with it, what have you. Oh my God, this is so true. And this is a drawing my mom made on an Etch-a-Sketch. No, not Etch-a-Sketch, like those magnetic drawing pads that my son had. My son erased it. He didn't want someone else working on his stuff. But before he did that, I managed to take a picture of it, of what my mom drew on the magnetic drawing pad, and then I tried to recreate what she was trying to do. So this is kind of verbatim on what she drew with color and paints from me, but I may actually try to follow up on this a little more and try to clean up the image a bit and see how it turns. That's if I remember. Oh, my old dog nephew, I guess, was my sister's dog. He was very cute and a bit of a baby, but still very cute. Oh, this guy, Elder Jinchi, I think. The guitar was too hard for me to draw. I'm not very good at drawing musical instruments, I realized. And Twinkle-chan, I really don't like how I write. It's so ugly. Maybe if it was in a different color, I wouldn't mind, but I was like, ugh. And then, Monkey Man. I did a bigger painting of it. Try to find it in my YouTube or Instagram. It was really good. A lot of mistakes, but still really good. Oh, this is too funny. I like this one. We have Arlong Shan, but he looks a little bit more goofy here because I based him off the original model that they based him off to make him, but the character Arlong Shan, he's a lot more stone-faced, very like no nonsense kind of boring guy, but he's dedicated to fighting and protecting blah and stuff and causing trouble for the Monkey King. But in this one, he looks like a Life Touch photo. It's all right, though. Okay, we're almost nearing the stretch. So this one takes 3 cards, and it is the Monkey King. This one, I think, was also one of the tough cards I had to do because the attention to detail was a bit excessive. See what I got here. But this is really cool. I like this one. I might actually make this one as a painting or with him in his chapter 6 armor, his classic armor, but I'm still debating. I have canvases ready. I just have to decide on something fast. And I think this also was 3 cards, but these were cards I did not care for. I think. Oh no, I think these are 3 cards I did not care for, painted over. Then I forgot, and then I found them as, oh right, I should do something. So here's more fan service. All 0 of you. You're missing out, which is fine. I understand. Fan service is dead now, I guess. And if you're wondering who she is, don't bother. She is from the 70s, so she's probably in her 60s or 70s now. But yeah, she has some... She's all right. Or at least I draw her enough. But yeah, this paint I have on here is quite thick. Well, not too thick, but it's like thicker than the other ones. I noticed as I touched the cards. And then Mount Mayon, I kind of don't like it, but I also don't want to erase another mountain painting. And this guy's so cute. He's supposed to be from chapter 2, but they made him into a hamster instead of a giant weasel. But so freaking cute. I like his tiny teeth. And then this one was the first attempt of those rainbow paintings. Oh my God. I thought I could finish the rainbow painting faster. Oh my God, I'm still working on it. I still like this one a lot, though. But at the same time, the other painting I have, I'm so tired. Should I just give up? And no, but there's some parts that need shading. That's the problem. And the order of the scales was so way off. So I've kind of just been putting it off for a long while. I have similar instances where I put off paintings because they were intimidating. I'm tired. Life happens and all that stuff. But I will eventually finish it, just not right now. And then this one is the Yaksha King. This one was a little bit tricky to do, but when I started putting the shadows in, then it turned out really good. But I might actually do another painting of this, like less of the line art sticking out too much. This one I was a little bit rushed to do, but I think if I take the painting more seriously, it will look a lot better. And then this one, I think I was supposed to make this for someone, but they don't seem to care, so I took it back. Oh, you're upside down. You're not supposed to be like this. Supposed to be like this. So yeah, I used to have a Doberman Pinscher, so I thought this was also quite nostalgic for me. Hey, lower it, please. And there's Nice Meowers, my very naked neighbor. The tail looks like it's something for a lizard, but I'm like, it's okay, I'm tired. I'm just glad he has a tail at all. And then we have Okasan from Atachinchi, and she was feeling quite luxurious coming out of a taxi. It was kind of cute. And then, yeah, I showed this image just earlier. So this was based off the very first sighting of the Max in Image Comics. And I didn't realize it was that until I saw that comic book. So I was like, this is what I got. This one was really cool. And these were 3 cards that were also failed cards that I've been meaning to paint. And I just like, I don't feel like it. And so I kept staring at them. Then I gave up and finally decided to do something entirely different. That does not mean I will not paint those characters again. I'll just probably put them off later and find a better image and time to do them. But yeah, I really like this one. This one was really good. And then the last 3 that was kicking me in the pants. I did these a lot earlier than just suddenly stopped, but now I finally finished them. Now they're stuck. So we have Sumiko Garashi / Sanrio and Watermelon. I thought this was really cute. And then I have Hwang Sung-kyung, I think they pronounce his name. I'm not sure, but he's from the Soul Blade series in PlayStation 1. That one was very nostalgic for me. And then we have Adea from Final Fantasy VIII. I don't know why I noticed this card seems kind of thin than the other cards, but oh well. Yeah, that's it. And I have to make a reel for this later this week. I don't know about today. I have to go to the store later today, even though I'm kind of tired. And how I put them in here. I could put them in like those binders that everyone else had, but I just feel like it's so big and bulky. I just put them in here for now. It's probably not the ideal place for cards, especially if they're hand painted and stuff. But I'm not making it for anyone, so I'm just like, eh. If there are mess ups like paint chipping off, I will just paint over at some point or hide it with whatever, because that's what I usually do. So yeah, what did I do? I showed some comic books. I was going to show ads, but I didn't see too many I liked. There were some other ones, but I don't feel like looking for it. Maybe next time I'll have more comic books with proper ads, but not today. I'm a little tired. And then I continued with some. I only did this one. I only did 1 card today after all that. But there's some progress at least. That's good. And then I was talking about some like old anime I used to watch. And the 3rd card deck will definitely go into the things I was definitely watching as a child that I probably had no business watching, but I did anyway because no one gives a shit. Or they did, they just were busy. Anyway, I also showed some of the card art in progress that I have. I might just put this on. Yeah, these are all, well, these 2 are from the 3rd card deck, and this one is from the playing card deck. The playing card deck is this one, I think. Yeah, even though I said I have 200 cards done, it's actually a lot more than that because I'm insane. And so I really do like making them. I didn't think I would. I do like that if I don't always have to adhere to making everything perfect, and I can leave things kind of sketchy and not totally clean, it makes things so much easier for me to do because I don't like having to be crazy attention to detail nuts about every single piece. If I were like that, I'd never get any cards done. So I kind of try to rush it, but try to capture the likeness. I think that's the most important part. As long as it looks like the original reference, character to most of the degree, even some degree, then you're good to go. Okay, now that person left, so I can go now. So that'll be it for now. Thank you for having me. I'll see you again next Wednesday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If I show up again, it might be through my phone, but I'm trying to not do that as much because the last time I tried, the very first attempt, the quality was not so great with the audio especially, but who knows? Maybe it's because my internet's caca on my phone. So yeah, I'm a go now. Thank you for having me. This is Delion signing on out. Take care. Have a good rest of your week and day. Bye-bye.